Many Marvel and comic book fan theorists have said in the past, Mephisto confirmed, only to find out it wasn't true. And hey, as a Marvel fan and theorist, we fans and theorists can totally be wrong. It comes with the territory. But now, I'm all in on Mephisto being confirmed for Earth 616 in the MCU in no uncertain terms. And we have She-Hulk to thank. And we may just have one of the hottest duos to hit the MCU. Wong and Madisynn have their relationship cut tragically short because of what went down in She-Hulk Attorney at Law Episode 4. We're going to talk about all of this right now. Welcome back to the Mama Saga, where this Marvel-loving mama is a mother and lawyer by day, but breaks down comic book sagas, movies, and shows like She-Hulk by night. Subscribe to this channel so you can join me for the after-party live streams following each episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law on the days that they drop. So, spoiler alert, of course, if you haven't seen the first few episodes of She-Hulk Attorney at Law yet, okay? I just want to cover that base, just in case. Okay, so, there's too much proof. How? Let me explain. Ex-Commertage student Donnie Blaze was performing in public when he opened up a portal with his sling ring and transported Madisynn, a volunteer from the audience, into what she described as a fireland, which led her to meet none other than Mephisto. Now, mind you, later when she's testifying on Wong's behalf as the plaintiff suing Donnie Blaze for the unauthorized use of magic and a separate cause of action sounding in general negligence, Madisynn claims that the huge bestial goat she met after first entering the portal was named Jake. But keep in mind, Mephisto is basically the Marvel version of the devil himself, the Lord of Lies. So obviously Jake wasn't going to call himself Mephisto if he thought the tipsy lady would buy that he was anyone else but Mephisto, okay? Plus, after Madisynn escapes, or is she let go, from or by Jake, she portals into Wong's living room at Commertage, wielding a bloody animal heart in one hand, and she's totally confused about where she's at and whether Wong himself is, in her words, the Goblin King. She's asking where all the devils and or goblins have otherwise gone, and she's stumbling around off-kilter. Later, as she's giving testimony in court, Madisynn proceeds to describe Jake the Demon and her pact with him, indicating that she's not allowed to share that pact with anyone, lest he reap her soul and the souls of everyone she loves. How does this not sound like something the devil, Mephisto, would do or say? Of course this is Mephisto. And don't forget, if you saw episode 4 of She-Hulk, Madisynn also explained that Jake had her give him 6 drops of her blood as she made that pact with him. And that's significant because that's something a devil or demon would do, especially an important one like Mephisto. Blood magic is always evil in fantasy and comics, and for a reason. Hello? It's dark. And as a quick blink and you'll miss it Easter egg, when Jennifer checks into Matcher, the MCU dating app, and finishes her profile, a huge fiery blaze erupts in the background of the app's home screen. It really called to mind Mephisto and the fires of Hades or hell, you know? And what's really weird is that during the hearing involving Donnie Blaze and his boss, Cornelius P. Willows, when Madisynn testifies that she met a goat in a fireland called Jake, it's then that Cornelius announces to the courtroom, unbidden, "I know Jake." What the heck? This does not bode well. It does not bode well at all. Now, I mentioned Donnie Blaze, and this is a neat Ghost Rider nod and wink because of Johnny Blaze, not Donnie Blaze, of course. And this means the midnight suns draw near. We have plenty of evidence of this already, which I'll cover in a minute, but keep in mind up front, Mephisto is the big bad for the Midnight Suns in the Marvel comic book saga. So it's kind of hard to have that team going on without Mephisto as a major nemesis for them to band together and fight against. Now, we know that a Midnight Suns team is on the horizon because we've already got in the MCU several of its major members, including Doctor Strange, Blade, who's been announced by Kevin Feige, and of course, there's an upcoming MCU movie on tap. We also have Moon Knight, who's already had a miniseries on Disney+, and now we're being introduced to the MCU version of Elsa Bloodstone in the Werewolf by Night Disney Plus series, where we're also getting both Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing. Whether we see Johnny Blaze, again, not Donnie Blaze, emerge in the MCU as Ghost Rider to join the growing roster for the Midnight Suns or not, the fact remains you really have a hard time having the Midnight Suns without Mephisto. And since Mephisto had Madisynn sign a blood pact with him so that she could be rescued from, as she explained to Wong, out of a lava pit because she was probably in hell, well, that has me worried. Will there be a tragic ending for Madisynn? The combination of Wong and Madisynn as a dynamic duo is just too priceless. I covered this new pairing and how they absolutely broke the internet in a recent video of mine entitled, Are Madisynn and Wong Together? So if you haven't seen that video of mine, make sure you do. It's a fun ride. But my worry here is that Madisynn literally made a deal with the devil, Mephisto himself, who took 6 drops of her blood in exchange for a secret pact that quite frankly has enabled Mephisto to do exactly what he needs to do, which is likely to enter freely onto the plane of Earth 616. As you may know, in the Marvel comic book saga, anytime anyone has made a deal with Mephisto, it has cost them dearly sooner or later. And Madisynn did say that she exchanged 6 drops of her blood with Jake so that she could be rescued from a lava pit, so that counts as making a deal with the devil, right? No matter, as Mephisto is one of the most dangerous entities in the entire multiverse, Madisynn may meet an unfortunate end somehow in connection with whatever Mephisto's got going on now that they've made their pact. Perhaps Mephisto ends up attempting to sacrifice her to enter into our realm or dimension, and perhaps that will lead Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme, and her new bestie to team up with Doctor Strange and the Midnight Suns in order to save Madisynn and probably everyone else from Earth 616 while they're at it. What do you think? Anyway, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to the Mama Saga for more comic book saga breakdowns. Thanks for watching. See you next time.